Said I was gonna call you back. I just had to get settled, or whatever, because I had been meaning to call you the last couple of days, and I would have had y'all over if I know she don't like to be out that late, but and that was all day. That was all day boxing, but said I hit you back.
Yeah, that's good. You know, we make it when we can, and even if she don't come over, sometimes, you know, I'll come over and I'll bring Mike with me. You know.
Yeah, that'll work. But you got me excited about the monster. And but before I ask you about the monster, man, I want to ask you about what you think about, because I gave you my take. You know what I'm saying? I gave you my take, but from your perspective, like you on the outside looking in. You know, you don't make no content, you don't do none of that, so you don't have no worries. You just an adamant boxing fan. What do you think about Dev moving to 140?
As a boxer, Devin is gonna be competitive as a boxer. What Devin lacks is the punching power. His chin will always be tested on the inside. As far as a boxer, he can match boxing abilities with almost anybody within that weight class. I don't know if he has the physical capability to just do everything that's needed to be a champion at 140. You just can't always stay on the outside and expect to just box your way through. Sometimes you have to get down and dirty in the trenches. I don't know if he can do that.
Yeah, I mean, do he remind you of anybody from back in the day, or was it anybody with that, you know, with that boxing, but may have that moniker or that label of not having punching power? Because I kind of think that it's not I think that he can knock anybody out, but I think that he's not on the inside where he's his most threatening, but he's also his most vulnerable because of his chin. But you know, is it anybody that kind of remind you of a champion like that, where they wasn't really known for their power, but just, you know, like pure boxer, like, you know, pretty much from the outside and a little bit of mid range?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, one of the slickest boxers that was out during his time, Wilfred Benitez. Benitez was like that. Benitez just had the ability to just box, but Benitez was tough. Benitez would challenge people on the inside, but he was so slick that you could pin Benitez in the corner and he would fight with his back within the corner, but he made it hard for you to hit him. And he would score punches too. He was not a knockout puncher, but he was tough enough that you could knock him out either. But he didn't have that raw punching power. But Benitez was just tough though, and that's why still today Benitez did something that is pretty much unbelievable. Benitez turned pro around the time he was 14 years old.
Wow.
And he had the physical strength to fight with grown men at 14 years old. And at 17 years old, he became champion of the world. I don't know if we will ever see another world champion in boxing reach that plateau at the age of 17 years old. It's phenomenal that he could fight with grown men at that age.
What now, was he, did he ever duck any smoke, or was he just, because I know it was different back then when they just got it on. It wasn't all about the glitz and the glamour. They just wanted to show I'm the best fight and I was the best fighter. Like, was it any smoke? Did he dodge any smoke?
He did not dodge anybody. He fought everybody during that time period. He fought Sugar Ray Leonard. He fought Tommy Hearn. He fought Roberto Duran. He fought everybody. Everybody. And he was such a good boxer and such a tough guy that even though he didn't have that real scout ability, but he could do everything else. He was phenomenal.
What was his demise, or what happened with him? What happened?
Well, he fought for a long time, and he eventually retired from boxing, but he won several championships at different weight classes. You know, when you talk about a fighter, he was out there with Leonard. Now, he lost the fight to Leonard. It was a close fight. The referee came in and stopped the fight, and I think about the 14th round. This is back when they was fighting 15-round fights. He stopped the fight, but the man never was off of his feet. I don't think the fight should have been stopped, but it was a close fight. He fought Roberto Duran, and coming into the fight with Roberto Duran, I knew Duran could not beat Benitez. Even though Benitez wasn't a knockout puncher, Benitez was so slick and so strong physically as a fighter that Duran couldn't do nothing to him. Benitez backed into the turnbuckle and into the ropes. Duran to come on in. Duran came in, he threw everything he could throw. Benitez slipped, bob, punched, bob, weave, duck, punch. To the point that Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran, stepped back from the corner and waved him, say, "Nah, you come on into the middle of the ring." He was making Duran look foolish. Now, everybody know back then, the rule of thumb is do not get against the ropes. Duran is going to kill you. Benitez waved him on in, and he could not hit him. He could not hit that man, and that man wasn't against the middle part. He was in the turnbuckle where you're not gonna go too far. You can lean to the left or to the right, but your feet are stationary because you're not going anywhere.
Right.
Duran could not hit this man, and he was being counted. And it looked frustrating that Duran just said, "Look, forget this. No, you come on in the middle of the ring. I ain't gonna fight you against these ropes."
That looked kind of like what Canelo did when Bivol was getting him. Remember how he stepped back? He was like inviting him in. Bivol was like, "Nah," you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, but Bivol did it because he didn't want to play into his hand.
Right.
Duran did it because even though he had him where he wanted him, he could not do nothing with him. And he literally got frustrated because he could not hit this man. Because I'm going to tell you, other than the way Floyd fights and Floyd slips, there was probably no other better fighter who could be right there and you just couldn't hit him. He was phenomenal also. That is a fighter that, when it comes to defensive skills, you watch Benitez. Benitez was outstanding.
Well, they talk about Sweet Pea too. Well, I mean, how do we relate defensive wise to Sweet Pea? Because you know his name always come up.
Sweet Pea was good too, okay? It's no doubt about it. Sweet Pea was good too. But Sweet Pea had the opportunity to watch people like Benitez.
Got you.
To me, Benitez was the type person that you couldn't hit him with his back against the ropes. He was so good that he was the best fight I ever seen with his back against the ropes and can't move.
Now, all right. So, what would be a homework? Give me one fight that I gotta go see with Benitez. Just one.
Okay, what you do? You could watch almost any Benitez fight. His defensive skills were good, but if you want to see a fighter that was good, watch him against Roberto Duran, because at that particular time, Roberto Duran, he was hands of stone. You better not get against the ropes against him, you know. And we all know that Roberto Duran beat Leonard the very first fight. He beat Leonard, but he could not beat Benitez. And coming into that fight, I picked Benitez to beat him because Benitez was just too slick, and Benitez was just physically a strong fighter. His punching power didn't match the physical strength that he had in endurance in a fight. But you wasn't knocking this man out. You just wasn't knocking him out. But yeah, him against Duran is a good fight to watch, because a lot of people, you know, back then Duran was the man.
Yeah, and I asked you about that because, you know, because of the I asked you about champions who, you know, were tough and skilled boxers, but really weren't known for their punching power. But to tie that back in, cause I got some homework to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go back and break that down, and maybe we probably watch it one day and break it down. You know, we'll break it down one day. But in regards to Devin, like, what do he need to do at this point in time? Because he's still young and he's still learning. You know, but I think he's going up. He's going up there to a pack of wolves up there. You got Regis Prograde. He's the number one. He's getting ready to fight the number two in Zepeda for a title. You got Richardson Hitchens. He just signed the Matchroom and he's getting ready to fight for the IBF. You got Josh Taylor getting ready to rematch Jack Catterall. They up there, and there was controversy in that. You got Gary Antoine, who faced adversity against Bartholomew, but wound up stopping him just like everybody else. You got Teofimo, who's just getting ready to fight Pedraza at 140, and here comes Devin. If he's getting up out of 135, which we don't know yet, but he's going up there to 140. What does he gotta do? Because of his stance and where he's at, and, you know, on all attention and all the high praise, versus him going to this new weight class. What is it? Something he can do, or what do he have to do?
Well, I think at this stage in his career that he must continue to do and fight the way he fights. His style of fighting is what got him to where he's at. And in moving up in weight, very few fighters move up in weight and keep the same punching power that they had, and as devastating with power. As he move up in weight, I don't see his power increasing. So Devin must continue, in my viewpoint,